So we're now in the segment for affiliation and reaffiliation. So I'm sure all of you have already been, or you already belong to an existing society already, but just to quickly go through some steps to create a new club or society. So first step really, whether you're new or whether like a newly created society or an existing one, is that creating a new club or society, you have to define the first step, which is what sort of society you're trying to create. You're finding your four current students who share your interests, and you select your committee. So that there's those different four steps, but all of that resource you can find on our website by the CNS online resource and documents. Maybe you want to go to this. So step one really is about defining what you're trying to create. We want to somewhat consider affiliating any new club or society whose objectives are essentially the same as an already existing society. So make sure that it's essentially really different in your especially when you're trying to create your objectives. Otherwise, you wouldn't go through with that affiliation step. Step two really is about finding four other current UTAS students who share your interests. So that means it's yourself, who's the current student, plus four other ones. It needs to be a minimum of 5 to be able to go through the next step, which is basically, finding that one. And then you now select your committee, who you want to be the president, who you want to be the secretary, and you want to be the treasurer.
The big 3.
Essentially minimum 3, like the 3. And yeah, all of them have to be students. And then you meet with us basically. That's usually Ingrid, who you might contact first. And I'm also sort of the backup. I don't have a Mo in there, no I do, but it'll be gone. Yeah. Next step, going. And then, of course, the next step is once you've met up with Ingrid and she's looked at your paperwork and you emailed her about it and she's happy with it, then you complete the paperwork through Rubrik. You send all those information through. That includes your completed memberships list. Make sure you include all the student IDs, degree, and essentially any information in they can download the template in that same form. If you're joining us on the QPay Rubrik session later this afternoon, we'll take you through specifics on how to go through that. But yeah, and essentially completing those tables in there, like what your location. Next slide, please. And then after that, you meet up. Once all of that's been submitted, you then run your IGM. Where you basically there's an IGM template on the website, quite similar to the AGM templates that you might find there with a slight bit of modification. And basically you just elect your executive committees officially. And then after that, you lodge that paperwork in there again. Okay, yeah, the next slot. And then once everything is complete, constitution is complete, then Ingrid accepts that. Accepts that, and then that gets lodged through and added on to State Council's meeting agenda. So State Council, they're basically the affiliation request. They're basically your elected members every year. And once they've considered your affiliation, then we will let you know the outcome. And then that's when after they've accepted, that's when you officially become society, like a recognized society.
And it's just worth saying with that 99% of affiliations that go to State Council get approved, because by the time they're coming to us, they've been looked at. It's very rare that we'll be turning it down. And if we are declining it, is just to make a minor amendment or two. Usually Chris and Ingrid are pretty good at their jobs at weeding out things before they get to us.
Yeah, so quite similar to the exercise that we did. It's usually either because you're missing student IDs or you're not putting in surnames of people that come to that IGM. So we would consider that as unacceptable meeting minutes. And so we was like, okay, could you please, we will reject it. It goes back to your pool. A lot of people forget that when we reject it, it doesn't mean we reject it. It means on the QPace like rubric system, it gives you the chance to then amend, like edit the actual form, and then you have to resubmit it again. Don't leave it sitting in there. Please submit it again. And just ask us if you have any difficulties with navigating that. And then after that, once we've emailed you and say, okay, well, congratulations, you've been you're officially a society. It's now time to set up your bank account and your ABN. There's a PDF there for how to set up an ABN. Part of that requirement is basically putting us as an authorized contact. We're not signatories on that bank account. We're just authorized. So that way, if we're receiving a correspondence, we're able to look at that as well. And yeah, slightly later on, like with how shall I say this? Like currently what's happening with ATO stuff, there's some bits to navigate with that as well. But essentially, basically, it's consulting us to then sign off your A153 form along with your minutes.
And we've got paperwork there that can help you navigate all of that. Got some documents there that with dot points to help you answer all of those questions. So it's not too hard. It looks daunting, but honestly, it's not. And if you do have a problem with going through the Commonwealth Bank, there's other options as well. So
yeah,
you just let us know and we can talk about that. And also, as a new society, if you get your new society approved, there's a lovely $250 startup grant to run your first event to get new members. So, you know, if you guys are thinking about starting up a society, I'd say go for it. Come and have a chat to us.
Cool. Yep. And then after that, of course, once you've set up your ABN, which has that PDF that we send you through of how to create, like how to step by step create an ABN for Tuesday clubs and societies, and also your bank. Next things, of course, to think about are your website and logo. Now, the website and logo normally you already should have that created before you submit the affiliation paperwork. So on Rubric, the affiliation/reaffiliation form, there's a slot there to upload your logo and 4 other photos. Those photos plus the logo go into our website, which is basically your own club's special page that we edit from time to time if you ever have a request. Yeah.
My club's previous photos and a previous time still hasn't been updated, and as you just answered, it's only edited based upon request, or is it edited yearly as the website may get updated?
It's usually by request. So you have to email us new photos, or if we have ones, like for example, for clubs and societies, they want photos of, you know, from clubs and societies they put on yours, just let us know. We'll update those. Yeah. And then essentially, this is the similar step with reaffiliating a society. It's just you skip all the steps about creating a bank, as you already got those, or this step is essentially just running your AGM. Most of you established societies would have probably already run an AGM or planning to run an AGM next year before clubs and societies day. So if for any reason you're struggling to meet quorum, or you're struggling to find nominees for your club, and you think that the upcoming clubs and societies day next year might be better to find new members, you do have until the 31st of March every year to lodge your affiliation, because after the 31st of March, your affiliation with us expires, so you don't access the.
And on the other side of things, if you are super organized and you've already had your AGM, you don't have to wait till the 1st of January to resubmit your reaffiliation paperwork. If you have it ready, just do it now. you don't have to worry about it, and then you're already all sorted for the next 12 months from March as well.
And we'll also go through this with day two with our Bolden Fund, but basically risk assessments are also have the same deadline with that when it comes to blanket approvals when you run your activities every year. When you have a blanket one, it also expires in the same day. And so that's basically what it looks like on QPay is on your own society's portal, you just lodge it through forms. It's changed a little bit from previous years, but they've now made it a little bit smaller. So your affiliation and re-affiliation form, whether you're a new society or whether you're an existing society that want to affiliate with us, they fill in exactly the same form. So you just click that one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Finishing off. Yeah, that's fine. We could do you have any, does anyone have any questions with this step by step or? Yep, Jeffrey.
G'day. We started a new club in September. Does that mean we have to do another AGM in March? Will that hold us through all the way to the end of next year?
No, you will have to resubmit your re-affiliation paperwork, but you can just attach your ATM and you may have an updated membership list. So,
Any other questions with affiliating next year AGMs?
I'd probably just like to say, just keep in mind when you do your re-affiliation committee form on Rubric, just make sure Chris and I are pretty anal on making sure that it's.
She hasn't. Okay, now she's. I have a question, Ingrid. It's Snehi from the Postgraduate Gallery Society. In Rubric, over the year, our society has, as you know, is affiliated. However, in Rubric, it often comes up as not being affiliated. We keep getting a message to say that we're not affiliated. And currently at this point in time, we got a message the other day when I went into Rubric that again, we are not affiliated and I have no idea what is going on.
So this one is, I would say it's a Rubric issue.
Yes, I know, but it's extremely frustrating because you can't get in contact with them and they don't basically listen.
Yeah, apologies for that. Currently it's an ongoing conversation with them because it's a new, essentially it used to be very simple where you're either affiliated for 2024 or 2025, like they just indicated, but the whole time, regardless of whether you were whether you lodged your affiliation in previous years, it will just say that you're affiliated. But now they've integrated this two-step system where it disaffiliates you on the system, and then we have to change that. But
it disaffiliates us at whim. It's like Rubric just decides one day to wake itself up and de-affiliates you, which is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, and that's something it's an ongoing conversation, say for that one. So yeah, but officially you are affiliated if you've already lodged it and we've already ticked on it. We do also have our secret list of sorts, where we indicate which society is actually affiliated, even if they're showing up as affiliated. But it is admittedly, unfortunately, a software issue.
So we can basically ignore that little note.
Yes, yeah, it doesn't prevent you from putting up ticketed events. You'll show up regardless of whether it says you're affiliated or unaffiliated.
Right. Thank you very much, Chris. That's good to know.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions from the room or online?
Jack.
Yeah, just briefly, how does it work? Say two people, one person seconds, one person moves, but how does it work is it like a 50% thing where you need another, like say there are 10 people, you have the two people that move in second. Does that mean you need another 4 people to agree with it? And then I'm just a bit confused about how, like, what's the the percentage to get it passed, to get things passed?
So in terms of, are you referring to the election of like a president and such, Jack?
Just any motions that want to get passed or any elections. I don't know whether they're different.
So in terms of a motion being moved and seconded, the moving and seconding that's prior to it being voted on. So you need a mover and a seconder for it to even be considered by the committee. If you don't, because obviously that's proving that two people think it's valuable. And then once it's been moved and seconded, then you'll call, does anyone have any concerns with this motion? Does anyone have any abstentions? You know, and then that becomes your vote. So you do the moving and seconding first, and then you call a vote on that motion itself. So essentially, yeah, the moving, that's why, as you saw with Eloise, she would say it moved, seconded, and then she would put on the line below, she would say passed unanimously or passed 3 against 1 or such like that. The moving and seconding is it's to prevent essentially nonsense topics being discussed by the committee and wasting the committee's time if only one member of the committee believes it of value.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm just wondering, if through the middle of the year, we have people who are interested in becoming an executive, how do we change that after we've already had name? Is that possible?
Yes, so Ingrid, you might answer that one.
Sorry.
You mean when you didn't fill those positions at the AGM? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if it's an executive member, you would have to call a special general meeting just for that purpose to elect the members, so that all of your members get an opportunity to vote that member in. But if it's just a general committee member, then it's something that your committee could just do through a committee meeting.
Anyone else have any questions in the room or online?
Food ready. It looks like it's ready.
Yeah, cool.
Sorry, Chris, can I just say, so what I was going to say before about the affiliation form was just to make sure that when you do get to that point where you are going to fill in your affiliation form on Rubrik, just to make sure that you do fill in all areas on that committee form, because we will not back your affiliation if you don't fill in every area on that form. So just make sure you do fill that in correctly.
It's essentially our official record, so it has to be, to a point. Yeah. Cool. I guess we finished slightly 15 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes early. Yeah.
Because we've got morning tea.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, please enjoy a morning tea. We've got some urns there with some coffee. Next up, we've got our bang for your buck coming back here. Starting at quarter past. So yeah, cool.
All right, let's talk about winning free money. Is that a fair way to start it for us?
Yep.
Okay, so first things first, just to flag, so across today and tomorrow,